dari kota terbaik di Indonesia. Kota dengan catatan sejarah perjuangan dan nuansa kepahlawanan. Selamat datang di Universitas Negeri Surabaya. Lahir tahun 1964 sebagai Institut Keguruan Ilmu Pendidikan atau IKIP Surabaya, menjadi lembaga yang ditugaskan sebagai perguruan tinggi pencetak tenaga pendidik. Seiring dengan perkembangan kebutuhan pendidikan dan laju zaman yang kian melesat, Unesa menjaga marwah itu dengan meneguhkan diri sebagai pusat pengembangan pendidikan, pelestarian seni tradisional, ilmu keolahragaan, serta ramah disabilitas. Terus bertumbuh menjadi perguruan tinggi terkemuka, Unesa kini mengelola 7 fakultas yang terdiri dari 64 prodi S1, 10 prodi vokasi, serta 29 prodi pasca sarjana. Fakultas Ilmu Olahraga, Fakultas Bahasa dan Seni, Fakultas Ilmu Pendidikan, Fakultas Ilmu Sosial dan Hukum, Fakultas Ekonomika dan Bisnis, Fakultas Matematika dan Ilmu Pengetahuan Alam, Fakultas Teknik, Program Vokasi, Program Pasca Sarjana. Memiliki 2 klaster keilmuan program studi berbasis kependidikan dan non-kependidikan, Unesa senantiasa meningkatkan kualitas penyelenggaraan pendidikan, memupuk tradisi ilmiah dalam penelitian, menggelorakan semangat pengabdian pada masyarakat, berjejaring berkolaborasi dengan pemangku kepentingan, serta mewujudkan pelayanan yang prima, transparan, dan akuntabel.
Selamat datang di Universitas Negeri Surabaya. Kami dengan bangganya mengajak Anda untuk lebih dekat dan mengenal tentang Unesa. Kami terus berkomitmen tidak hanya menyelenggarakan pendidikan terbaik bagi tenaga pendidik profesional masa depan, juga sangat berfokus untuk menciptakan lulusan yang berkarakter, tangguh, kreatif, inovatif, dan mampu berkolaborasi pada siapapun, berbudaya yang humanis, dengan spesifikasi yang unggul dalam hal seni, olahraga, dan pendidikan disabilitas yang komprehensif.
Pendidikan tak hanya menjadi intisari keberadaan, tetapi juga menjadi nafas perjuangan. Unesa menjadi salah satu kampus penyelenggara program pendidikan profesi guru yang menghasilkan tenaga pendidik profesional. Unesa terus menyelenggarakan berbagai program pemberdayaan sebagai stimulus untuk mengembangkan sumber daya dosen dan mahasiswa. Pengembangan riset serta produk-produk inovatif menjadi solusi permasalahan yang ada pada masyarakat. Unesa, rumah para juara. Ekosistem yang mendukung dalam mencetak sumber daya manusia berkualitas, kompetitif, dan berwawasan global, sehingga mampu bersaing di tingkat nasional maupun internasional. Kolaborasi adalah kunci kemajuan dan upaya menjadi kampus berdaya saing global. Unesa berkolaborasi dengan sejumlah institusi berskala internasional, baik di bidang industri, pemerintahan, maupun institusi pendidikan. Naik kelas dengan kelengkapan fasilitas sebagai wadah mengembangkan minat, bakat, serta potensi mahasiswa, Unesa juga terus mengembangkan sarana dan prasarana yang mampu menunjang kegiatan akademik maupun non-akademik. Gor Futsal Internasional, Asrama Kontainer, Sport Center, Pusat Bahasa, Graha Unesa, Student Activity Center, Jogging Track, Lapangan Berkuda, Gor Basket Internasional, Unit Kegiatan Mahasiswa, Seni, Pengembangan karakter dan kepribadian, olahraga, aktivitas outdoor,
Unesa,
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 Unesa.
Unesa,
Unesa, satu langkah di depan.
Since its establishment in 1964, Universitas Negeri Surabaya, which at that time was Institut Keguruan dan Ilmu Pendidikan or IKIP Surabaya, has always excelled as an educational campus. Unesa's commitment to participate in advancing the quality of education in Indonesia is proven by various reliable facilities and programs. In 2021, Unesa has 69 professors, 1,037 lecturers, 31,363 students, 7 faculties, 1 vocational program, 64 undergraduate study programs, 10 Diploma 4 programs, and 28 postgraduate study programs. Not only generating excellent graduates, but Unesa also guarantees the quality of education through teacher professional education programs. The certification program is intended for early childhood teachers to high school teachers to standardize academic and non-academic qualifications. Currently, there are 33 study programs that are organized to support the Ministry of Education, Culture, Research and Technologies program. From 2017 to 2021, there are 4 programs that are conducted by Unesa, including Subsidized Imposition Program, Subsidized Pre-Service Program, Undergraduate Program to educate in outermost, frontier, and underdeveloped areas, and Integrated Teacher Professional Education Program.
Nama saya Beri Wahyu Kurniawan. biasa dipanggil dengan Berry. Saya adalah salah satu guru di SDN Gadungan 3, Kecamatan Puncu, Kabupaten Kediri. Saya dulu alumni dari Universitas Negeri Surabaya. Untuk S1-nya saya mengambil jurusan PGSD, kemudian melanjutkan ke pendidikan profesi guru di Unesa juga. Memang cita-cita saya ingin menjadi seorang guru. Untuk awal mengajar, saya mulai mengajar pada tahun 2014. Dulu honorer, saya dulu mengirimkan lamaran dari SD ke SD, dan akhirnya alhamdulillah mendapatkan panggilan di SDN Balung Jeruk. Kalau sebagai guru honorer, kesulitannya lebih ke hal-hal administratif sebenarnya. Kan statusnya kan kalau kita bilang, bisa dibilang kita tidak resmi ya. Ya mengajar, cuma kan kita tidak punya SK secara resmi. Kemudian setelah 3 tahun, itu baru saya melanjutkan ke pendidikan profesi guru. Saya mendapatkan banyak sekali pengalaman, ilmu-ilmu baru. Saya kan lulus tahun 2013 dan mengajar pada tahun 2014. Nah, di situ kan ada penerapan kurikulum baru, kurikulum 2013. Nah, ketika saya lulus kan belum mendapatkan itu. Ketika mengajar, saya harus menerapkan itu. Memang ada seperti pelatihan atau workshop yang dilaksanakan oleh Dinas Pendidikan, tapi tidak sebaik ketika kita mendapatkan langsung di PPG. Yang pertama ada upgrade dari pengetahuan, kemudian skill kita juga update, kemudian untuk sertifikatnya ini juga sangat berfungsi. Ketika kita mengajar di swasta, sertifikatnya ini dapat dicairkan untuk mendapatkan tunjangan. Selain itu juga ini juga bermanfaat ketika saya kemarin mengikuti tes CPNS. Ini mendapatkan poin tersendiri. Kalau dulu PPG yang saya jalani yaitu PPG Prajab itu berbeda dengan di kampus-kampus lain, di mana kita kalau di kampus lain hanya ada 1 PPL. Kalau kita diadakan 2 kali PPL. Untuk PPL yang pertama yaitu untuk pengamatan, kemudian untuk PPL kedua kita action di situ, Kak. Jadi lebih dapat ilmunya, lebih dapat, kemudian prakteknya juga lebih dapat, seimbang seperti itu.
Indonesia has great potential in sports. Having a good sports grand design is one of the important spearheads in renewing the national sports system from upstream to downstream. Starting from screening, coaching, training, providing facilities, and an athlete education system. Human resource upgrading through sports science education, training, assistance, seminar, and workshop in the national and international level. Dissemination and development of existing and new sport. Services for test and measurement for elite athletes in Sports Science and Fitness Center Laboratory. Organizing annual National Sports Day. Development and mentoring of traditional, mass, and recreational sports through sports club. Development and assistance for sports for persons with disability. Research and community service in sports sciences. Along with providing sports facilities that continue to be developed to fulfill the sports needs for Unesa academic communities and to improve athletes' achievements. Other than the support in facilities, Unesa also strengthened itself in sports science through various national and international partnerships, including partnership with institutions, higher education, and sports industries worldwide. All to promote students' achievements, especially in sports in the regional, national, and international levels.
KONI ini salah satu tulang punggung terkuatnya adalah Unesa gitu. Kan banyak itu mahasiswa Unesa gitu, yang berprestasi itu perlu dibanggakan itu oleh Unesa gitu toh. Dan saya dengar Unesa juga akan mengembangkan kelas khusus untuk para atlet berprestasi, karena pagi latihan, sore latihan, tiap hari tidak kenal Sabtu, tidak kenal Minggu ya toh. Sehingga metode pengajarannya ya harusnya beda kan gitu toh. Mungkin kita ini satu-satunya KONI yang memberikan beasiswa penuh kepada atlet maupun pelatih sampai S3. Ini yang kita kerjasamakan dengan Unesa, yang mengkomandani ya Prof. Nur Hasan sendiri gitu. Kerjasama yang lama ini sudah di bidang Binpres ya, pembinaan prestasi, kemudian pengembangan sport science, kerjasama membangun entrepreneurship di kalangan atlet, kerjasama KONI, Unesa dengan Universitas Ciputra. Saya mengharapkan begini, Unesa menjadi pusat pengembangan sport science gitu, ke depannya gitu. Karena ini harus gitu, untuk harus se-Indonesia belum ada dikembangkan dengan serius ya, oleh perguruan tinggi gitu ya. Dan Unesa punya atensi yang luar biasa kepada sektor olahraga gitu. Nah, baik dari sisi keilmuannya ya, dari sisi SDM-nya, dari sisi kebijakannya gitu ya, dari sisi fasilitasnya. Nggak ada loh perguruan tinggi atau universitas kayak gitu, itu kayak Unesa ini gitu. Ya Pak Rektornya jagoan ini gitu.
Globalization encourages Universitas Negeri Surabaya to connect and reconnect with Unesa's partners with different stakeholder coping education, government, private sector, and non-governmental organization. Unesa has committed to strengthen its partnership with various partners, evidenced by the increase in targets and achievements from year to year. What is more, Unesa welcomes potential collaboration with new partners to strive for its excellence in education. To improve quality, we also bridge international mobility for educators and students. Unesa supports every potential of the Unesa academic community through international scholarship programs to add global insight. Various international programs are also designed to facilitate Unesa students and international students not only to interact and get to know each other, but also to exchange perspectives for wider collaboration.
Our university strategic plan for the next 5 years focuses on internationalization of the institution. By 2025, we hope we become a recognized regional education university. We have implemented some program for the internationalization. Recently, we have obtained international accreditation for science education and engineering education clusters. We are now working on the other international accreditation from reputable international agencies. In terms of academic forums, this year we are hosting some international conferences and academic forums in the respective fields of our faculties. From these international conferences, we open opportunities for international research collaboration and publication with bigger audiences. In addition, for research collaboration, we encourage professors and researchers at our university to collaborate with researchers from other countries, especially with institutions which have had MOUs with our university. We believe that the emerging issues we face are too big to solve alone. Collaboration is the key to cope the problems and challenges to elevate the role of the higher education to bigger audience. Some potential to initiate for international collaboration, including student and teacher mobility, international internship programs, joint research, publication and conferences, and scholarship management for international students. Unesa is committed to enhancing our global collaboration for better future to build sustainable development for our community and unity. Thank you.
The environment has an important role in improving human resources. To support facilities and accessibility become a key to support people for getting the achievement, including people with disabilities. Interpreting the special needs with ensuring all of the facilities in well prepared, which is ready to use by people with disabilities, so the mobility within faculty will be more convenient. We realized that the facilities need to be supported for people with disabilities. Therefore, the service will be prioritized to build awareness in developing an inclusive environment for civitas academic of Universitas Negeri Surabaya. In academics, we also open enrollment for students with disabilities through special admission with a talented and potential skill which is according to their interest in various program studies. From the vocational program, undergraduate, magister, and postgraduate. Unesa continues to ensure that students with disabilities could expertise their hard skill and soft skill from an expert advisor. Achievement is not the only goal, but we believe with achievement will give a change to improve student skills. Supporting various programs for disability awareness, Unesa has the Center Study and Services for Disability, which is focusing on 3 programs. Researches, the Student with Disability Services, and the Inclusive Community.
Perkenalkan, saya Aden. Saya jurusan PKK. Saya prodinya S1 Tata Boga 2019B.
Waktu itu Mas Aden kan pernah menang lomba PSLD Unesa tahun 2018 kalau nggak salah, dia kelas 2 SMK, juara 3, main keyboard waktu itu. Setelah itu diundang Bapak Rektor untuk mengisi acara PSLD juga. Saya cari-cari informasi, alhamdulillah ada jalur inklusi itu pertama kali kalau nggak salah dibuka untuk secara resmi. Ya lewat PSLD lagi dibantu, kemudian dengan syaratnya kan punya prestasi tingkat kota ya. Alhamdulillah dari PSLD 1 itu pas waktunya bayar nggak bisa bayar, ditolak. Ternyata 2 hari kemudian diberitahu bahwa dapat beasiswa. Masya Allah saya sampai nangis, saya tengah hari itu nangis. Soalnya bersyukur banget gitu ya bisa masuk Unesa. Memang kan anak autis tuh kalau udah obsesi kan mau gitu ya. Terus dia mau masak, bukan pinter banget tuh enggak mau, dia tuh tertarik. Terus dia diajarin masak itu nggak nolak.
Paling sering masak sup sama gorengan, cup sama pedas manis. Masakan yang diajarin dosen itu makanan yang dari India, Pakistan, dan Bangladesh. Nggak ada kesulitan. Jadi entrepreneur dan juru masak. Yang paling saya suka itu jualannya untung.
Untuk wirausahanya ya mudah-mudahan bisa menjadi bekal dia untuk mandiri di kemudian hari kelak. Jadi sekarang pun sudah mandiri, cuman nanti kalau sudah lepas kuliah kan lebih fokus di jualannya. Mudah-mudahan kuliahnya lancar, 2 tahun lagi ada dari support dari Unesa juga, kemudian dari dosen-dosennya, mudah-mudahan paling lancar bisa lulus tepat waktu.
As part of the society, Universitas Negeri Surabaya always strives to build a culture of research and service in a productive and quality manner to support national development. Unesa always helps and focuses on the people in need, providing assistance in various forms, materials, educations, and also mental support for people who are in difficulties. Unesa is taking a closer look at the community needs and always providing supports towards the direction of a better change. Various development programs in the form of community service, one of which is done by Unesa lecturers. Community Service, Directorate of Research and Community Service.
Universitas Negeri Surabaya in welcoming Unesa's 58th anniversary or Dies Natalis Unesa yang ke-58. Today's webinar is about international partnership to support world-class university. Ladies and gentlemen, as information that now Unesa is growing into the better rank every year, the latest rank by Asia University Rankings or the 2022, Unesa is now number 16 among more than 2,000 universities in Indonesia. And we do hope that every year Unesa will get great achievement, going to 16 to 15 and so on. And it shows that Unesa is one of the best universities in Indonesia. Ladies and gentlemen, and today's webinar is designed specially as an effort to support Unesa to get higher achievement, especially in university ranking. Ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor that today Unesa is visited by 4 experts from University of Nottingham. Yeah, here we have Pak Bagus Mulyadi. Yeah, he is the Assistant Professor of Chemical Environmental Engineering, Faculty of Engineering, University of Nottingham. He is also UK Indonesia Consortium for Interdisciplinary Sciences or UKICIS Coordinator. Welcome to Unesa, Pak Bagus. Selamat datang di Unesa. Ya, Pak Bagus ini sebenarnya orang Indonesia yang sekarang mengajar di University of Nottingham. So we are very proud of Pak Bagus that ada orang Indonesia yang menjadi dosen di Nottingham. And as information that last night, ya Pak Bagus also had meet and greet with the fans, and 2 of our lecturers came to the meet and greet Pak Bagus. Yes. Yeah, and the second we have Pak David Ochterlony, the Associate Director Global Engagement Strategy Support from University of Nottingham, UK. Welcome to our university, Pak David. And then we have also Dr. Louis Walker. Yeah, Dr. Louis Walker. Yeah, hello, Dr. Louis. Yeah, she is the Associate Professor Midwifery, Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences. Unfortunately, we are now in a way of having that faculty, Mrs. Louis. So perhaps next year, yeah, you can come here. We will invite you to come here to see our new faculty. And then the last, we have Miss Shannon Breverstock. Yeah, she is the Senior Global Engagement Manager. Welcome to our campus, Ibu Shannon. Yeah, other than the 4 special guests from University of Nottingham, UK, today we also have an honorable guest from our university partner, University Teknologi Mara, Malaysia, Professor Syahriman Zainal Abidin. Yeah, she is an Assistant Vice Chancellor, Internationalization Global UITM, who joins via Zoom. Hello, Professor.
Hello to everyone.
Yeah, thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. It is really an honor for us, Universitas Negeri Surabaya, can invite you, and of course, it is an honor for us to hear your experience during dealing with the internationalization.
Thank you for the invitation as well.
Welcome, Pak Professor Syahriman. Honorable guests thank you very much for the rector from of Unesa, the vice rectors, deans, lecturers, guests, and also speakers, and of course committees of the webinar and all participants. My name is Asrori. I'm going to be the MC and also the moderator of today's webinar. Ladies and gentlemen, dear participants of today's webinar, to open the webinar, let's listen to National Anthem Indonesia Raya, followed by Mars Unesa.
Indonesia
Thank you very much for the cooperation. Ladies and gentlemen, to open today's webinar, we would like to invite the Rector of Unesa, Professor Dr. Nur Hasan, to deliver their remark. And today he'll be represented by Professor Dr. Bambang Yulianto, the Vice Rector of Education. Pak Bambang, time is yours.
Thank you very much. I'm Bambang Yulianto, Vice Director for Academic Affairs. Let me read opening remarks by Pak Rektor Unesa. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Salam sejahtera, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, salam kebajikan. Good afternoon from Surabaya. Honorable speakers, professors, delegates, and participants, we would like to welcome you to the international webinar on World Class University hosted by State University of Surabaya, Unesa, as part of the celebration of our 88 years of success as one of leading universities in Indonesia. In this occasion, we thank the speaker for today's webinar, Excellency the Vice Rector for Planning and Partnership of Universitas Negeri Surabaya, Dr. Sujarwanto, MPD. Excellencies, Mr. David Arthur Loni, as the speaker and Associate Director, Global Engagement, University of Nationt, UK. Excellencies, Mr. Bagus Mulyadi, Pak Bagus, as the speakers and UK Indonesia Consortium for Interdisciplinary Sciences, Coordinator, University of Nottingham, UK. Dr. Lois Walker, thank you, and Mrs. Shannon. Excellencies, Mr. Shariman Zainal Abidin, as the speaker and Assistant Vice Chancellor, UITM Global. Excellencies, Vice Rectors, Deans, and Directors, faculty members, lecturer and staff. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Internationalization is one of our university's concern for the last 5 years, and collaboration is the essential factor to expand our institution and strategic goals. We have been committed to collaborating with several institutions overseas in academic activities, including joint courses and education programs, student exchange and faculty mobility for study and research, joint conferences and publications, short-term academic programs, and also faculty development programs. In addition to the partnership, we also committed to upgrading our university's rank both at the national and international levels. Currently, we are the top 20 universities nationally. We have 19 study programs, and that we have been accredited internationally by ASIN and ACAS. We are optimistic that by the next 3 years, we hope our university will become a recognized teaching university in the region, and we will welcome for more collaboration with other institutions in the region. Speakers, delegates, participants, ladies and gentlemen, in this webinar, we would learn from the outstanding speakers about strong international partnership. The areas we are now focused on how we can maintain and expand international partnership, and also the way to go to the world-class university. This webinar is also intended to give insight to our faculty member to the idea of internationalization of the university. Today's webinar is in line with the strategic plan of our university. Speakers, delegates, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to officially open today's webinar with the name of God. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. We do hope the discussion today gives positive insight and opportunities to strengthen our collaboration, especially between our today's university partners, the University of Nottingham and UITM Global. For all participants, happy webinar and good luck. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Rector, Professor Dr. Nur Hasan. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for Professor Pambang, Dr. Pambang Yulianto, the Vice Rector for Academic Affairs of Universitas Surabaya, for the remark. As the remark delivered by Professor Dr. Pambang Yulianto, Unesa shared his commitment to support all of the academics here, students and also lecturers to go internationally. And of course, Unesa has an effort to support the academics to go abroad to learn and to give the international atmosphere. Ladies and gentlemen, before going to the main session, we would like to inform you that today's webinar is held hybrid. We have the speakers from University of Nottingham, UK here, Bapak Bagus and also Bapak David, and also we also have the speaker from UITM, Bapak Professor Syahriman, who joined via Zoom. Yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, three presenters will deliver the topic parallelly, and each speaker has about 15 to 20 minutes to deliver the topic, and then it is going to be followed by question and answer session. Ladies and gentlemen, before inviting the speakers today, let me read the curriculum vitae of the three speakers today. The first speaker is going to be Pak Bagus Mulyadi. As an initial information that Pak Bagus Mulyadi is the Assistant Professor of Chemical and Environmental Engineering, Faculty of Engineering of University of Nottingham, UK. Other than that, he is also UK Indonesia Consortium for Interdisciplinary Sciences, UKTIS coordinator. Perhaps later Pak Bagus can explain a bit about UKTIS. So the participants here will have an insight about UKTIS, and perhaps Faculty of Mathematics and Natural Science can also join the consortium. And then the second speaker is Mr. David Ochterlony. He is the Associate Director, Global Engagement Strategy Support. Hopefully today, Pak David will share much his experience dealing with the internationalization. And then the second speaker is Professor Syahriman Zainal Abidin. Yeah, he is the expert in internationalization from University, yeah, of Technology Mara UITM Malaysia. I do believe that Pak Syahriman, with his great experience, yeah, dealing with the internationalization in UITM, will share his great ideas today. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I'll invite the first speaker, Pak Bagus Mulyadi, to share the experience. Pak Bagus, time is yours.
Thank you very much, Pak Asrori. The Honorable Vice Rector, Pak Professor Bambang, and colleagues from Fakultas Mathematics and Natural Sciences.
Yes.
Pak Asrori and colleagues from Nottingham, colleagues from UITM, thank you very much for having me. Before I start, David here has a presentation to prepare. Maybe during my time speaking, you could prepare for the file to be uploaded.
Yes.
Okay, fine. So, my name is Bagus, assistant professor at the University of Nottingham, UK. The University of Nottingham has 3 campuses in the UK, Malaysia, and China. I would like to give a little bit of introduction about my own beginning and how I come to be facilitating global engagement for Nottingham as well. Am I audible? I am audible, right?
Yes.
So, as well as talking a little bit about the UK-Indonesia Consortium for Interdisciplinary Sciences. So, I studied in Indonesia, in Bandung. So, I have never studied in Surabaya, nor have I ever come to Unesa. However, I have been very impressed by Surabaya the last couple of days with my colleagues. We have been greeted by wonderful people eating wonderful food. And then this is the first time I come to the campus Unesa. Very impressed by the layout of the campus. First time I come across the name Unesa was from Dr. Melanie Wibowo. She's a postdoctoral research associate at the School of Chemistry in Nottingham University. Very high performing researcher. So that is my first idea about what Unesa is. So it must be really good institution because she is really good. Okay, so I'm very happy to be here in that regard. Now, I studied in Indonesia and then I went to Taiwan for my postgrad. Then I worked for a brief period of time in Toulouse in France. Then I moved to Imperial College in London and now I'm here. I mean, the reason is not because I want to lay out my CV. The reason is because internationalization has been somewhat part and parcel with my profile as a researcher, in having been in 3-4 countries, right, and Indonesia and all the way until the UK right now, and it's been very different, my experiences in these universities, and as an Indonesian, there's always been the desire to link Indonesian institutions with that which I am part of at the moment right now. Now, in the UK, there are about 35 tenured academics. That is very small numbers. People like me and more senior than me from Indonesia. So that's very small compared to the likes of Israelis, Iranians, Indians, Chinese. I always give a joke that there are a lot more Chinese and Indian in my own department only than Indonesian in the whole UK. However, so in the 2017, I have 15 minutes here, so we're going to be brief. A select number of Indonesian diaspora was invited by the Ministry of Research, Technology and Higher Education, Ristek Dikti at the time. And then we were invited to give inputs to the provision of policy in higher education. And then we gathered there. And then from there on, there's these initiatives to link our institutions and Indonesia. Now, long story short, back in Nottingham, we developed a partnership with the ministry that co-funded PhD students from Indonesian institutions. So these are BPPLN programs, right, for lecturers. So the idea is that we want that PhD students coming to the UK would first and foremost work on something that relates to Indonesian problems, not to the UK problems, to Indonesian problems. So having Indonesian lecturers studying in the UK, we want them to be co-supervised by their home institutions. So the idea is that we see PhD students or students in general as links to their home institutions, as a catalyst for knowledge exchange. And then that's what Melanie is, and that's what I am, right? And then so these PhD students, now there are 12 of them at the University of Nottingham. They come from Gajah Mada University, Universitas Indonesia, ITB, and other universities. And then they've been very, very effective in linking Nottingham with their home institution. Now, with the other 35 academics in the UK, some of them, with Professor Beni Cahyono from Coventry University, Dr. Irwanda Lowry from University of Warwick, and Nottingham University, we initiated a consortium with UGM, ITB, UI, dan IPB. Okay, so there are 7 universities. And then we established this UK-Indonesia Consortium for Interdisciplinary Sciences. And the MOU was signed in the February 2021. So it wasn't too long ago. Now, the idea behind the consortium is that we want to create a free movement zone for thoughts and knowledge, so that we want to create something like maybe the European Union for knowledge. No pun intended. I'm sorry that you just got out of the European Union, but the idea is that stuff can move freely between university. Maybe one day Pa Asrori will teach in Nottingham, and maybe I can teach here, something like that. And then, albeit started by the 7 universities, we wanted to grow. And then this had gained recognitions and support from the 2 countries and from the ministries of the 2 countries. So UK-Indonesia Consortium for Interdisciplinary Science, we call it UKICIS, has formally featured in the UK-Indonesia Partnership Roadmap. That's a formal UK dossier signed by Foreign Secretary Liz Truss in partnership with Bu Retno Marsudi. Okay, and then so the dossier said that the 2 governments will support UKICIS as the as UKICIS would foster collaboration in research and innovation. Now, from the Indonesian government, we receive a seed funding of 44 billion Indonesian rupiahs to form LPDP. Okay, so it's called Rispro UKICIS. Now, unfortunately, the call for funding had just ended on the 31st of May. I don't know if there's proposal from Unesa or not. But then the funding was for research in green economy, blue economy, digital technology, health, and sustainable tourism. So Indonesian universities, both affiliated or not affiliated to the UKICIS, can apply for this funding to have this research collaboration in partnership with UKICIS UK member universities and even beyond. Okay, so so that's a very, very good starting point. But even if you are not part of the funding at the moment, our intention is that this UKICIS become an inclusive organization, so as to include more and more Indonesian universities and the UK, and then create this bigger zone for knowledge exchange. Now, we are focused on interdisciplinary research because we think about some of the greatest challenges that both Indonesia and the UK have cannot be tackled within the brackets of a single discipline, but it has to be multidisciplinary. This consortium has Indonesian interests at heart. So we think about the problem like those that Indonesia can have a chance in leading in the future. There are many problems in the world, but there's not so many that Indonesia perhaps can have the chance of leading. But when you talk about sustainable mobility, Indonesia being the largest nickel producer in the world might have a chance in saying much about sustainable mobility. When you talk about renewable energy, Indonesia having more than 40% of geothermal energy reserves beneath our feet might have a thing or two to say about renewable energy provision. When you talk about interfaith, interreligious conflicts, Indonesia consisted of 700 languages, multi-ethnicity, and 17,000 islands, might have a thing or two about us saying more about how to manage conflicts. I always make an anecdote that Belgium, not so far away from us, is a country with 4 languages. And then there was a period of time in the 2000s where there was no government because the 4 cannot agree on one thing. So it's not a trivial issue, but we somehow, relatively speaking, managed to keep our political boundary intact is something that perhaps the West can learn also. But the key is to get these interdisciplinary collaborations recognized in the prestigious journal publications, and it's creating impact. It produces policies. In the engineering sector, it creates prototypes, can be part of the supply chain of the biggest manufacturers like Tesla, like Hyundai, and others. So that's the problem that we want to tackle. And then so the next steps would be for universities like Nottingham, who is a valuable founding member of the UKCHIS, to create an entity in Indonesia, something that could help the Indonesian to expedite the translation from research into innovation. Now, this morning, we just met with Vice Governor Emil Dardak. So we talk about our idea about creating an entity in Surabaya or maybe in Jawa Timur, that can liaise with Indonesian universities here and polytechnics and local industries to house our facilities in engineering, in modelings, in health sciences, so that the Indonesian stakeholders can benefit from collaboration with us, having our liaison office here. And the Indonesian manufacturing bases can interact with us and access research and development facilities that are otherwise very difficult to access because it could be very expensive. So we actively engage the Indonesian governments, we actively engage the UK government, we engage universities, we engage also policy-making institutions, we work with Ministry of Transportation, for example. We recognize the problems that are prohibiting advancement in sustainable mobility. For example, that Indonesia currently do not have safety standards for EV, you see, and it doesn't have regulation for conversion of fuel-based vehicles into EV for four-wheeled and beyond. So the problem is not necessarily just technical, but pretty much everything. There's this regulatory problems, there is bureaucracy and others. Now, as Indonesian, we understand that because we speak the same languages, and so would Melanie. Okay. Now, these people would be key for internationalization because they understand what the actual problem is and what they have at their disposal in their institution where they're working right now in Nottingham University. Now, I'm very fortunate that, and this is the preamble to you, because Nottingham is one that is very international in their outlook because they support people like Melanie, I support people like me. And then they utilize both of us and other staff and students from Indonesia at Nottingham to become bridge with their institutions. So that allows me to come here at their payroll, and they pay for my tickets, to come here and then to interface with you and to actually know this great campus and city. So moving forward, we want more of this. We want more of this, and hopefully you will be keen on having us more. I wouldn't mind 2 weeks here, by the way, pass. And so with Melanie. And then, yeah. And if you have any questions and that is related to, for example, what I mean by that is this. If you want something that is bespoke, what Nottingham University has been able to do is to make it so easy for you to interact with us. So, for example, we work with Undip, and then UGM, Gajah Mada, and others, and they would want us to curate like a 1 week long programs that is equivalent to a 1 semester long, 1 SKS. Yeah, but it's compressed into 1 week. That is in alignment with the world-class university programs, for example. We make that very quickly. You know, we make that very quickly. We know exactly what you need. We know what your KPI, for example, and we know what we are able to do. Nottingham University is very fast in doing that. And now that they're Melanie, she is going to be the key between Nottingham and Unesa to link with us what exactly your needs. And then we will be able to cater that. So if you have questions like that, we want more details about what you actually need. Is it teaching partnership? Is it research partnership? What sort of expertise that you would need? What kind of profile that you would need to complement yours? We would be very happy to support that, including for your students, for example. If you want these students to continue higher educations in Nottingham universities, we want to keep that bridge with you. So if you got PhD students coming to Nottingham, for example, we want to involve you in their research so that throughout their PhD, any paper publication published would bear your name. Okay, so that's what we want, because we don't want to come here, open a campus, compete with you. We want to empower Indonesian universities and the upskill Indonesian lecturers also. So that's it, my introduction to David's talk more about Nottingham.
Yeah, thank you very much, Pak Bagus Mulyadi, from the explanations. He is doing great, yeah, supporting Indonesia to be one of the important countries, dealing with the UK. That is why then is now becoming the coordinator of UK Indonesia Consortium for Interdisciplinary Sciences. Perhaps as an initial question, Pak Bagus, because this consortium is initiated by 4 universities. It is possible for other universities to join into the UKTs. And then later, I think we have the principals of Faculty of Mathematics and Natural Sciences here. I do believe that the lecturers here have a lot of questions to share with Pak Bagus. Please keep your question. Before I go to the second speaker, ladies and gentlemen, dear the participants of today's webinar, if you have any question, please you can type your question on the chat box, and later I will read your question to be answered by the speakers. Pak Bagus, thank you for the very insightful experience you share to us. Wait for the question from the audience to share more experience you have working in UK, to be one of the lecturers in University of Nottingham. Ladies and gentlemen, we have got the first speaker. Now we are going to go to the second speaker. We invite Pak David to deliver 15 or 20 minutes topic. Pak David, the time is yours.
Hello. Hello.
Yes.
Hello. Hello, everybody, and very pleased to see Prof. Sharaman over in Kuala Lumpur. Good to see you again.
Yes, good to see you again too.
So thank you for this opportunity to speak to colleagues in the room and online about the University of Nottingham's internationalisation activities. And I'm going to spend some time talking to you about the University of Nottingham overall, give you an introduction to our university, and then speak to you about the ways in which we developed our internationalization strategy, culminating in our first country-based global engagement strategy, which is for Indonesia. I'm having some technical issues at the moment, so I'm just waiting for this file to upload to a flash drive, which I then hope can be played on the screen. If not, I will just talk at length about the process we went through. So we're in a really exciting position at Nottingham. We've just been through a new university-wide strategic development process, which culminated in our new, well, not so new now, university strategy, which focuses on our efforts to become a global university. Thank you very much. Following that, we went through a process of developing our global engagement strategy, which took our main university strategy and looked at the things that are important to us as a university. And the main thing that came through from our university strategy is that we already have a strong position as a global university with our campuses in China and Malaysia. And we felt that we needed to do more to give our staff and our students a global perspective, to provide an environment for our students and staff to be educated and to work in an environment which promotes their ability to engage internationally. So we developed a global engagement strategic delivery plan, which focuses purely on activities that are internal and external to promote a global mindset in our staff and students. So we're very focused on giving opportunities to all of our students, all of our academic researchers and lecturers, but also to our professional staff as well, to be able to engage with our international partners. so when the slides come up on the screen, hopefully, the file is called Global Engagement at UON, hopefully. And we can talk about, you know, the process that we went through and some of the activities that we have through a very long collaborative process with colleagues in our China and Malaysia campus as well, designed a global engagement strategy that speaks to everyone. There it is. Amazing. Thank you. Okay, so welcome to our World Beyond Ordinary. We're very keen to welcome all of you to our way of thinking and our way of doing things at Nottingham. So if I could have the next slide, please, that would be very helpful. Thank you. So we have a mission as a university to be pioneering, to inspire our academic colleagues to deliver world-leading teaching, research and scholarship. We are a place of education and research that transforms lives and shapes the future. The next one, please. So, as I've said, you know, we're really focused on cultivating a global mindset in our staff and students. And we went through quite a long process while we were designing our this is our internationalization strategy, but at Nottingham we call it global engagement. And I think all too often at universities we make the mistake of the strategies being developed from the top down. And then when the strategy implementation period comes together, there isn't that bottom-up buy-in in the same way as you really need to get strategy delivered. And we were very guilty of this with our previous strategy. There wasn't really much engagement from the people who are doing the job in designing the strategy. So I made it my mission to make sure that everyone had a voice at the university who was involved in study abroad and international research and international teaching. The strategy had to be designed by them, for them. So if I can have the next slide, please. So as a global university, you know, this global outlook is part of our DNA because of, you know, we were the first British university to open a campus in China. We were the first British university to open an overseas campus in Malaysia. And I think the next slides will have some details on that. Okay, that's fine. Yeah. And being a global university, it's fundamental to who we are. So with our campuses in China and Malaysia, you know, we have a campus just south of Kuala Lumpur in Seminye with around 6,000 students. And this was the first branch campus established outside of the UK. And there's a picture of our beautiful Trent building on the screen there. There are around 6,000 students there at the moment. And with our campus in Ningbo in China, which should be on the next slides, we have more students there. We have just under 9,000, I think. So with this being, you know, a long-established part of our operating model, internationalization and thinking globally is fundamental to who we are as a university. We have colleagues, lecturers and researchers and students and professional services staff moving between those campuses and interacting with one another. So it's a fundamental part of what we do. If I could have the next one, please. Thank you. So yeah, there's just some student numbers. So I think all too often we hear about universities with campuses overseas. And, you know, I'm aware of a couple of universities that have a campus in Hong Kong, but that campus is the middle floor of a tower block. Whereas our campuses overseas are campuses, you know, they're living, thriving communities of academics and students and researchers. So with a total student number at Nottingham across all three campuses of, you know, the mid 40,000s. And the next one, please. So with our global engagement strategy, we've set an ambition. We've set the ambition to become Britain's foremost global university. So to continue our innovation and leading in the global higher education sector, but becoming a university that inherently thinks and acts locally and across borders and cultures. And one where through our education and our research and our day-to-day interactions as a university, we promote the development of a global mindset, where we promote the thinking globally amongst our staff and students, so that when an education or an administrative problem is encountered, you can view it through the lens of our global community. And what we ultimately want to do is become that destination of choice for people that want to have a British education with a global perspective for them to come to Nottingham. So the fundamental part of this is the Nottingham global mindset. And this is something we've articulated, again, through a series of workshops and involving the university community and leadership to really try and understand what we mean by that global mindset. Because it's all great to have the global mindset in our university strategy, but if we don't understand what that global mindset actually is, it's very difficult for our colleagues across the university to deliver it. So we want our staff and students to have an awareness and openness to diversity across cultures. We want our staff and students to be able to inherently exercise flexibility and emotional or cultural intelligence. And we want everyone at Nottingham to have the opportunity to undertake activities which help them to think and act across borders and not be tied by the fact that we're in the UK or we're in Malaysia or we're in China. We're part of a global community. And that cafe, sorry if you go back one, that cafe is on our Malaysia campus. It's one of my favorite places to sit and have a cup of coffee. Next one, please. Sorry. So we, after a period of about 6 months of engaging with colleagues delivering functional activity and leaders at the university across all 3 of our campuses, we developed these 6 strategic priorities, grouped mainly around activity, but again with the theme of being able to provide opportunities for everyone at our university to have an international experience. So priority 1 is exactly that. It's providing an international experience for everyone. It's very inward looking. It doesn't look externally, but looking at the ways in which we do business to make sure that we can provide that experience. Point number 2 is the main reason we're here this week in Indonesia. That's the main reason we were at UITM with Prof. Shahriman a couple of weeks ago now, although it seems like a month ago. Looking at our international research and teaching partnerships and working with colleagues around the world at universities to address some of the world's most pressing problems. Looking internally again at our curriculum and looking at whether our curriculum is fit for purpose in a global society, looking at ways that we can provide information and content and module content to our staff and students on geopolitical issues. The world is a rapidly changing place, and we have some of the world's experts in politics and international relations and so on. So we're looking at ways that we can provide information to our staff and student body. Number 4, again, is relevant to our visit to Indonesia this week, looking at international mobility, and not just for students. We're very, very keen at Nottingham to give professional colleagues the opportunity to undertake a mobility opportunity. Looking again inwardly at our campuses in the UK, China and Malaysia, making sure that our campuses are environments where positive interaction among different people from around the world can take place. Supporting, for example, the Indonesian diaspora in our UK campus and, putting on an Indonesia Day where culture and food and dance and literature is celebrated. And then finally, number 6, it's on every university's mind. I think the QS rankings are out again this week. Looking at the ways in which that we can enhance our reputation as a global university and make us the university that's known around the world for being a global university. We'll skip through these slides quite quickly because I'm very conscious of time, but these are some of the activities that we have developed as actions for our international our global engagement strategy. So again, if you look very quickly at this, it's very inward looking. It's making sure that we as a university are fit for purpose to be able to engage with the world. And the next slide, please. So this is more outward looking. It's looking at the things that we can do as a university internationally and the things that we need to do to make sure that we're doing the research and the teaching that not only is going to further the University of Nottingham's objectives, but also to have the research and teaching impact in the countries that we work with. And as I mentioned earlier on, the first tri-campus global engagement strategy for a targeted priority country, region and partnership network is Indonesia. And there are a few slides at the end showing our global engagement strategy for Indonesia. Priority 3 around global curricula, there's one project that is very outward looking, and that's Nottingham Global Classrooms, where the pandemic has been an awful couple of years for everyone in the world, and I don't think anyone would disagree with that. However, it's provided the opportunity to utilize technology that was already there, but I think it's been embedded now into our minds that look at what we're doing now. We're talking to colleagues in Malaysia and having a webinar. You know, this technology now enables us to deliver module content simultaneously around the world and to leverage the opinions and the perspectives of people from different countries and cultures. International mobility, again, I've highlighted the virtual mobility program. You know, language training before a physical student exchange is now a possibility, and we're looking at ways in which we can deliver that. And then the next slide, please. So the campus culture. So the picture on the right is our Hindu society at the University of Nottingham. Every April, I think, April or March, they have a Holi celebration. The university previously did nothing to support that. It's just a student-led activity. But what we want to do as a university is to provide support to our student community. So when they do have the Holi celebration, the evening is about Indian theatre and dance and food and literature. So making our campuses a place of celebration. And actually, when we land back in the UK on Monday the 13th, my colleague Shannon and I are driving from Birmingham Airport directly to the University of Nottingham, as it's the launch day of our Diversity Festival, which is the day of celebration of our international community. So we're starting to move on these kinds of things. And then finally, for our internationalization strategy, the next slide shows just some of the things that we all do as universities to promote our global reputation. But I think to finish, I'd like to just run through a couple of slides now on our Indonesia strategy. So as I said, Indonesia is a hugely important country for our university. We have around 100 students on each of our campuses from Indonesia. It's a very strong market from us from a recruitment perspective, from a teaching perspective. The work that my colleague Louise has been doing with Erlangga and is Apekind, the Midwifery Association, is critical to our ability to deliver such content, but also it's very important to Indonesia as well. And then the work that Bagus has been doing through his own personal research, but also the UK CHIS as well. So these are our strategic priorities for Indonesia. So, you know, looking at strategic teaching, research, KE partnerships to support UK CHIS and other initiatives, looking at the way that we can use our expertise in executive education to support Indonesia's priorities, looking at study abroad initiatives for our students in the Malaysia and China campuses, but also for Indonesian students for whom perhaps a study abroad opportunity in the UK or Australia or the USA is too expensive. You know, we have a campus in Malaysia that's an hour and a half away on a plane in a culturally similar environment, still having that international experience. And again, connecting our Indonesian staff and student diaspora around Indonesia on campus. So I'd like to finish there. Thank you very much for listening to me. I won't go through these. This is way too much detail for this call, but I can share that information with anyone if they request it. So if you just skip through to the nice little thank you page, that would be wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Mr. David, for the wonderful experience and also explanation of your university and how your university goes to international campuses. Listening to Mr. David's explanation about the campus, we are proud to feel the campus atmosphere of University of Nottingham. I can feel that I will meet a lot of students from different countries and also the international atmosphere and so on and so on. So it is going to be very great joining the University of Nottingham, even in UK, Malaysia, or Taiwan, China, sorry. And in the previous meeting, Pak Bagus actually has offered an opportunity to one of the lecturers in Unesa to come to Nottingham to pursue his doctoral degree. Pak Dimas is here, I think. Yeah, okay, thank you for the very wonderful and also insightful experience and also explanation, Pak David. Later we are going to come to the question and answer session. Ladies and gentlemen, dear participants of today's webinar, we are going to come to the third speaker of today's webinar. We invite Professor Shahriman Zainal Abidin, Assistant Vice Chancellor, Internationalization Global University of Tun Mara, Malaysia, UITM. Professor? The time is.
Okay, thank you, Pak Asrori, for the introductions. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum and very good evening to everyone. Especially to Professor Dr. Bambang, Vice Rector of for academic affair, University of Universitas Negeri uh, Surabaya or Unesa, and there's a few person especially David Ochelani, Mr. David Ochelani and Miss Shannon Beverstock. We met in Malaysia on May 19, I think a few weeks ago, and we have a very fruitful discussion about how to proceed with the collaboration. Okay, Bapa, sorry, can you play my slide from your? Can you play my slide from your side, please? Or I can play it from my computer. Let me see better. Okay, I think I can play from my computer. Can everyone see the slide?
Yes.
Can I hear something? Can you see my slide?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, today I'm going to talk about the challenges, especially UITM Globals. It's a new unit, which is the units that that has been combined with three a department, in order to take a challenge for globalization. If you know University of Jemara or UITM, we have a different agenda on the formation of the university. And if you notice, we have established in the year of 1965. At the point in time, we are what we call it RIDA, or Rural Industry Development Authorities, which play an important role to give upskilling program to our indigenous people in order for them to be more competitive in the current world. Because if you look at the formation of UITM, we have a huge number of students. We at this point in time we have about 180,000 number of active students, and then we have got 9,000 number of lecturers across discipline. We offer more than 500 number of programs, and we have got 35 number of campuses around Malaysia, meaning that it is a very I think it's a huge university. And when we talk about the ranking, I think we need to do something in order to meet the country. And let's give this is just a little bit information about myself. I'm industrial designer by training. I'm a product of University of Jemara in the year of 1991-95. And then I have again a master degree in automotive design from Coventry University in the year of 2000s. And then I have gained a PhD in industrial design engineering from Norwegian University of Science and Technology, Norway. So I have experiences three different academic culture or school of thoughts, which for me it is interesting to know how the differences of knowledge, the school of thoughts, and how we can play a role, especially in cross-disciplinary or multidisciplinary arena. So if we look at the current Elsevier Cybermetric Serbia, there are a new there are a new a pattern shows that the cross-disciplinary become a new bubble spotlight in the cybermetric in Serbia. Meaning that people like to mingle around and they like to make a cooperation based upon various sort of disciplines in daily life, especially the contribution to the body of knowledge. Okay, this is the historical timeline. Talking about internationalization at UITM, we have established in 2007, but later in 2011 it became Office of International Affairs, and then when come to the year of 2020, the strategic partner become part of us, and when come to the year of 2021, we have added one more department, which is Department of Ranking in our governance. Meaning that under the UITM Global, we have got Department of International Affairs, we have got the Department of Strategic Partnership, and we have got the Department of Ranking. Okay, as an introduction, our responsibility is on the recruitment, the admission, recipient of international student staff, inbound, outbound, and then second is about the engagement with our potential partners, especially in international project, international program or projects management related to education and research, such as Erasmus Plus, UNESCO grant, OMA, DAD, Fulbright program, Chevening scholarship, so on and so forth. And the third one is escalating agenda of GRU, or globally renowned university, by the year of 2025. And we try to cater the ranking via QS, GE World University Ranking, and the Time Higher Education University Ranking. And this is our so-called model of for the operational, because since we are quite huge university, so we need to strategize our operational, and this is what we call it, a model or framework that we use as a point of reference for our lecturers. Here you can see here that on your left hand side, there's the input, there's the output. For input, we make a benchmarking with other university, and then we try to see the new and the existing partners, and then we try to encourage our local students to go abroad, to study abroad, engage with our international students, and then we have a local staff that we think that they need to mingle around with international staff from other university. This is not necessarily the lecturer. It can be an administrative staff. And then we engage with the embassies, and then we engage with the international organization, the AD, British Council, MEC, so on, and we engage with we facilitate anything with regards to the Ministry of Higher Education in Malaysia, either Bahagian Education Malaysia, Ministry of Higher Education Malaysia, or Education Malaysia. So UITM Global, normally we will focus on the international program, project management, and then international relation, student experience support, international promotions and recruitment, staff exchange, and ranking. And as an output, there is a student exchange, a summer program, full-time international students, embedded student activities, staff mobility, cooperation and collaboration project, research collaboration, and academic partners program. Normally we will approach the elite partners in order to get better output. And then there will be enhanced self-confidence, increased language acquisition, culture immersions, global student mindset, income generations, and then there will be an engage with leading academics, enrich student experience in classroom, enhance quality of teaching and learning, research, and enrich international and intercultural understanding, enrich portfolio, join conference, seminar, join project, research-based and internship program, join grant, join research publication, dual degree, join degree, join supervision. And as an output, there will be a globally renowned university, graduate employability, global visibility, and increased ranking. This is our so-called model, where I'm trying to educate all UiTM lecturers. We have got 9,000 of them. We are not a research university. We are more comprehensive university. As everybody know, we can take the horse to the water, but we can't force them to drink. But we need to have some sort of initiative on how to make sure everybody play their roles, especially towards to fulfill the QS World University ranking, such as the academic reputation, employability reputations, citation, and H index. Okay, as a newly appointed Assistant Vice Chancellor for Internationalization, I have made a SWOT analysis in order to study the strengths, the weaknesses, opportunities, and the threat. And I noticed that at UiTM, on the strength, there is the strength of UiTM global brand recognition, because if you notice, most of a big university, especially in European countries, they like to use a nomenclature global terminology to describe the international affair. So since in Malaysia there is only two, one is UKM, the other one is UiTM. So we try to bring this brand, because we have a plenty number of lecturers that might contribute to the QS World University ranking. And then we have a plenty number of expertise in various fields and talents at UiTM. And then we have many denominator can be advisor. Since we have more than 500 number of programs, meaning that we can have a sort of 500 number of advisors who can promote UiTM at the global level. And then on the weakness, I noticed that we have MOU documentation, but most of them is not centralized. This is one of the things. The second thing is managing inefficiency, the 3 degrees of separation. 3 degrees of separation become important at UiTM because we want to make sure every single MOU we have, first we have a document of MOU, the legal binding. Second, we need to have the administrative matter either in the form of monetary or in the form of administrative appointment as a visiting professor, so on and so forth. And the third one is an activities. So 3 degrees of separation important for UiTM. And then we have a difficulty on the verification of information of international student, international candidate, either lecturers and student. This is because UiTMs, there are plenty number of university in the world. We only rely on the Education Malaysia to verify all the the qualification. Sometimes we do it ourselves, and I noticed that this is one of the problems that we facing at UiTM. And then on the opportunity, we can be leading the nominators, the lecturers, expertise agenda through 3 strategic trusts and 9 strategic team of UITM. And then we can engage with international university cooperations for to especially become a consortium or engaging with sharing grant. And then at the same time, we can harmonizing action of college, IPSIS. IPSIS is postgraduate study and legal office, registrar office, so on at UITM. And then the threat is only the competition with our local public and private university only. Okay, this is our strategic plan for UITM. Yeah, towards a globally renowned university. We have this pyramid. Everybody should remember as a university lecturers. Of UITM. We have a value at the bottom, which is on excellence, synergy, integrity. Second is a strategic themes, which become the output. Everybody needs to deliver, especially on the education 5.0, entrepreneur, well balanced graduates, wideness access, translational research, development, innovation, commercialization, industry, community, alumni, smart partnership, talent excellence, agile governance, smart campus, and sustainability. And for strategic trust, we have a quality education, global excellence, and value driven. This is will be part of our agenda to drive. And then at the end, we will achieve at the strategic goal, which is globally renowned university. Okay, for strategic trust, we have strategized. First, based upon 6-star rating, setara. This is the instrument used at the Ministry of Higher Education. So we need to have a cultivation for the Department of International Affairs on conducting ongoing awareness campaigns related to QS World University Ranking, Time Higher Education Ranking, Webometric Ranking, MyRA. MyRA is a Malaysia Research Assessment Ranking. And then the other action plan is to manage the recruitment, assist UITM staff, and implement the management of international program and project related to study and research. As an indicator, we try to it is in the form of education 5.0, talent excellence, entrepreneur well-being, graduates, agile governance, smart campus, and output is dissemination of information visually and physically, and the outcome is on retention. So network is one of the initiative for Department of Strategic Partnership. So we need to collaborate on publication, research, grant, especially with top 300 university in the world. Try to engage with the elite partners as a co-authors and or so that we can leverage the citation for the long run in the publications. And then there's on the indicators is translational research, development, innovation, and commercialization, and sustainable funding. And output, this can be done via meeting, conferences, workshop, summer school, others, and outcome is in the form of earning. And the other initiative for dissemination of knowledge is under the Department of Strategic Partners. We try to increase the use of social media of UITM. We try to make ourselves visible, especially on the website, YouTube, Google Scholar, Orchid ID, Web of Science, Scopus, and promoting toward the creation of bubble spotlight trust field denominated in Elsevier sabermetric. And the indicators will be wideness access, alumni smart. On the output is dignifying the field of UITM consistent in the visibility of UITM global. The outcome is retention. So when the COVID-19 hit all over the world, there is a game changing in education system. It seems that online learning, blended learning, hybrid learning become important. So that is why part of our negotiation can be done via online. Trust to global excellence, strategy is more on the application top 300 by QS World University Ranking. Top two subject receive top two subject receive top 100 ranking by QS World University Ranking by subject. 20 subject ranked by QS World University Ranking by subject. So the initiative more on communications. And then we have an action plan, normally establish relationship with our potential partner and work with our legal office. And the indicator is, you see here, it is more or less the same. And the output is in the form of MOU, MOA, exchange, global mobility, exposition, and micro-credential program. Micro-credential program become important in Malaysia right now because we feel that it is about time that every university in the world can offer program online. Student can take a certain subject abroad, like a credit transfer for one semester, and it's depend on which university they register and which university award their their degree. So outcome is more on strategic preparation. We at UiTM, we try to make an impact, especially in the world and in Malaysia. And at the same time, Trust 3 is more on value-driven performance. We, as a human, we need to make sure 80% of our denominator or lecturers are happy. So we need to have a initiative cultivation for all three departments, especially on the action plan, which is more on whole culturals. They involve UiTM Global with global exposition and education fair, creating lecture, student welfare organization, and the output will be award, trophy, cash prize, certificate, and we try to engage 80% of our lecturers as our outcome. So this is the KPI given by our university. We have 12 number of KPI, and we have set our strategic action plan for these three departments: Department of International Affairs, Department of Strategic Partnership, and Department of Ranking. Where 8 of them, for DIA, there are 8 number of key initiatives. Department of Strategic Partnership, 3 key initiatives. Department of Ranking, 1 initiative. If you can see in your left side, the SAP or Strategic Action Plan include MOU, MOA, passage to UiTM, one student, one passport, art, cultural excellence, go global, UiTM digital maps, phase 2, sharing of best practice with the elite partners, MOU, MOA, international activities. So when we talk about ranking, QS World University Ranking is one of the most important indicators. And if you can see, there are about 6 number of metric. At UiTM, we feel that for academic reputation, employer reputation, faculty ratio, international ratio, faculty ratio, international student ratio, we can control on that. But on the citation and we need to more strategize, especially to make sure everybody publish, everybody write a paper, and the citation, this is cannot be controlled because of it's depend on our individual lecturers to perform, especially on publication. So this year onwards, we will give more emphasize on publication, citation, and H index. We try to identify the right high standard conference or high impact journal publication for every lecturers to publish. So we need to be more selective. If you notice, for QS World University ranking, the only citation index been recognized or counted is only from the publication Scopus Index publication. So we need to be more selective on determining the right platform to be published. So we try to give an example that we need to engage with people from other university or other country as a part of our strategy, especially for conference, writing up paper for conference, and also for publication with I mean in journal publication, we need to have people from other university in the affiliations as a co-authors. So this is kind of strategies to increase the citations and H index, which is for us it is I mean it's hard to control. It's depend on how your paper can be used as a point of reference. At the same time, at UITM, we have made one website, link of website, which we call it UITM Expert, where we can see our every single lecturer's H index of Scopus, H index for Web of Science and the scholars. And then we encourage everybody, every UITM lecturers to have a ORCID ID to make sure that every papers can be seen by our potential collaborators, and then of course Scopus is one of our target. Everybody should publish, as well as the Web of Science, and even a Google Scholar website. We need to be visible on that, and as well as a research gate. I think as an academician, we need to make sure that people know us across the world, and at the same time, we can see who cite our research work. So this can be done through research and publications. So we have a target. I mean, in the future, we try to become a top 1%, top 1% in the world. This is just our target. But as a norm, every university maybe they have a similar target to put your university in a better position in the ranking. And then that's all from me. I think thank you for listening. Okay, over to you. That's me how to stop. Okay. Sharing.
Okay. Thank you very much, Professor, for the very insightful sharing about the great model of internationalization of UITM Malaysia. I am interested to one of the points that the happiness index is increasing into 80%. Seems that you had to explain more about it because it is going to be a very interesting point. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the participants of today's webinar. Now come to the question and answer session. I invite 3 questions for the first session to all the participants. Please mention your name, to whom you ask the question, and your question. Perhaps the participants attending the webinar in this room, you can raise your hand and give your question directly. Ibu, okay. Mention your name and then your question.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Okay. My name is Ayunin from mathematics. So here I would like to ask to Mr. Bagus and Mr. David in terms of Nottingham University. So I'm happy to see you all because I've been there in your university in 5 years ago. So, and then now I'm trying to find some funding to my postdoc. But in some circumstances, it's quite difficult to apply with the requirement of officer in Indonesia. For example, postdoc in UK it should be 1 year full time, and it's quite difficult to apply here in Indonesia because we have a strong regulation in terms of when you move out and in, come back in terms of regulation, yeah, permission of going research sometimes, yeah, and then for if I apply just three months, for example, and then to be honest, it is quite difficult to also to find suitable supervisor or something. So in this case, maybe the question is your project international mobility, how it's flexible application for Indonesian lecture because we have so many regulation, and then particularly for government officer as me. And then the second one is how we can find the funding. It should be I need to find by myself or I don't know exactly. So that's I think my question. Thank you for your answer.
Okay, thank you, Ibu Ayuni, for the question. Yeah, the question is for Pak Bagus and also Mr. David about how then the University of Nottingham facilitates the international mobility, including postdoc. As an information that Bu Ayunin was one of the candidates of postdoc program granted by Ministry of Education last year. Unfortunately, she didn't pass the interview session. And hopefully then this year, Bu Ayun will also apply the postdoc program again, yeah, through the Ministry of Education grants.
So,
Pak Bagus, yes? Bu Ayun?
For last year, I've got trouble in LOA actually. So
see.
CAUS have guaranteed me funding for a whole year, but because I have double funding, so they just reject it. So actually the CAUS is very support, but just miss in the submission of LOA, so there are double funding there. So, and then the CAUS just want me 1 year full time, and then it's quite difficult for me to leave the university for 1 full year.
For 1 year.
Yes, because
Yeah.
of regulation, I think.
Yeah, Pak Bagus and Mr. David, Bu Ayuni is one of the outstanding lecturers of Unesa. Yeah, she passed her doctorate in UK too. In what university, Bu Ayuni?
Newcastle University.
Newcastle University.
Yeah.
Newcastle University. Pak Bagus and Pak David, the time is yours to answer Bu Ayuni's question.
Thank you, Bu Ayu. Thank you. Bu Ayu ya?
Ayunin.
Ayunin, Bu Ayunin. Thank you very much. Di Newcastle, by the way, ada Dr. Stephen Snellius Pramana. Beliau di Imperial College bareng saya, sekarang sama-sama asisten profesor di Newcastle University, tapi teknik kimia. Oke, ini ada sedikit discrepancy sebenarnya, Pak. Ini saya tahu kenapa ada permasalahan birokrasi itu. Yang disebut postdoc di Inggris dengan di Indonesia kelihatannya agak beda. Ini permasalahannya. Jadi begitu apply ke UK sebagai postdoc, sebenarnya nggak ada yang namanya apply sebagai postdoc di UK. Postdoc itu kerja, gitu. Saya waktu itu postdoc di Imperial College, maksudnya saya kerja di Imperial College gitu. Jadi kita nggak apply kerja LOA, nggak bisa begitu sebenarnya.
Karena saya waktu itu gini Pak Bagus, karena kan saya mintanya kan kalau di KAUS Saudi Arabia kan full funding satu year. Cuman masalahnya kan untuk birokrasi surat itu kan kalau saya 1 year itu kan otomatis status saya kan berubah lagi Pak. Jadi dosen tetap ke dosen apalah gitu ya. Nah itu sehingga saya mintanya 3 bulan. Nah 3 bulan ini ribet banget kalau di KAUS Pak, karena kan bekerja. Ya, sehingga saya ke arah dikti. Nah dikti itu butuh LOE Pak. Jadi ini ada diktinya. Nah saya minta ke KAUS diktinya. Cuman akhirnya supervisor saya atau partner riset saya itu dibilangin bahwa kamu dapat living allowance segini. Nah itu jadi krusial.
Living allowance-nya dari mana?
Dari KAUS. Karena sebenarnya KAUS itu really appreciate gitu loh Pak. Nah karena miss saja di situ gitu loh.
Tapi dari diktinya nggak butuh ada permintaan living allowance dari kaus kan?
Kalau dari diktinya kan full cover Pak. Nah saya kan terlibat double funding akhirnya.
Oh oke, berarti justru jadi masalah dong dapat.
Iya.
Oh ya oke. Ya oke. Sebenarnya kalau di UK kita kenali itu sebagai visiting researcher sebenarnya. Nggak akan ada permasalahan birokrasi sebenarnya. Gitu. Karena kalau postdoc itu berarti kita yang gaji. Itu namanya postdoc, itu dalam payroll dari University of Nottingham. Seperti Bu Melani. Bu Melani itu postdoc di Nottingham. Gajinya berasal dari payroll supervisor dia tuh, dari project code supervisor dia. Seperti itu. Nah ini visiting researcher, saya rasa kalau demikian title-nya di UK nggak akan ada masalah. Karena kita sudah beberapa kali didatangi periset yang dapat funding sendiri ya dalam hal ini dari Kemendikbud kan, gitu kan?
Kalau funding dari UK nggak ada ya Pak? Harus nyari sendiri ke LPDP sama Dikti tadi?
Ya itu kan prerogatif dari supervisor sebenarnya. Karena gini, kalau Ibu Melani misalnya ya, itu supervisornya memenangkan grant riset di Inggris. Nah salah satu elemen anggarannya adalah gaji untuk postdoc. Nah, lalu dia keluarkan advertisement, saya sedang mencari postdoc. Lalu postdoc itu datang menggunakan gaji dari project code dia, tapi bukan dari universitas. Tapi dari supervisor dia. Jadi tergantung siapa yang ibu hubungi. Kalau saya misalnya sedang punya funding di project code dan saya bisa bayar gajinya, ya bisa bayar gajinya. Berarti bukan LOE dari universitas, walaupun bagus itu bagian dari Nottingham, seperti itu.
Tadi saya kira dengan agenda kita itu ada celah mungkin kayak funding dari kayak konsorsium tadi Pak. Gitu.
Oh oke, ada. Jadi begitu.
Cuman
jadi
kan Unesa kan bukan bagian dari konsorsium gitu.
Sebenarnya yang bisa mengakses funding itu bukan hanya bagian dari konsorsium. Jadi dia jadi di konsorsium UKICIS itu dia mengapply dana hibah. Di RAB-nya ada elemen untuk mengirim researcher ke UK gitu. Nah di situnya ada living allowance gitu. Nah itu postdoc sebenarnya. Dan bisa yang apply itu baik dari UKICIS Indonesia member maupun bukan.
Oke. Berarti artinya memang funding kita struggle sendiri gitu ya Pak ya. Maksudnya ada funding baru apply ke atau nyari-nyari ke Nottingham apa yang cocok gitu ya.
Ya kalau itu plan A kan. Kalau ada seperti itu
atau
funding.
Mungkin kayak Bu Melani tadi gitu ya Pak ya. Jadi ada riset terus ada advertisement gitu terus kita apply mau jadi postdocnya dia apa tidak gitu ya.
Iya bisa dari dua atau bisa dua-duanya kok funding. Tapi hal-hal seperti ini 50% subjektif Bu gitu permasalahannya. Jadi tergantung supervisor yang dituju itu lagi punya funding atau enggak. Saya rasa nggak ada level dari universitas sentral universitas ya. Setahu saya setidaknya tidak di Nottingham. Ada open call untuk postdoc misalnya atau universitas level bidangnya apa saja, nggak mungkin ada seperti itu. Gitu loh. Karena postdoc itu riset spesifik. Gitu loh. Nggak mungkin dibikin open call di universitas postdoc silahkan datang. Postdoc bidang apa? Gitu loh. Kecuali PhD student ada gitu atau master bahkan. Jadi seperti itu. Nah, jadi yang konkret yang bisa saya bantu begini. Kalau ibu nanti apply lagi, misalnya dapat, butuhnya LOA, yang ibu bisa lakukan adalah misalnya kalau Nottingham jadi sasarannya, hubungi saya atau David atau yang lain. Saya butuh supervisor yang akan meng-host saya di bidangnya ini gitu. Nah, nanti urusan LOA segala macam itu akan jadi lebih gampang. Misalnya nanti sang supervisor itu punya dana, lebih bagus lagi. Gitu.
Kalau lewat yang tadi itu berarti juga apply proposal dan lain sebagainya gitu ya Pak ya? Yang tadi konsorsium tadi.
Yang UKICIS itu udah lewat.
Termasuk ya?
Itu udah lewat. Itu udah 31 Mei itu udah lewat proposalnya.
For this year.
For this year ya.
Possibility for next year Pak.
Ini LPDP, ini mungkin saya off the record.
Yes.
Ya in the record juga nggak apa-apa sih gitu. Maksudnya gini. Gini ya Pak ya.
Yes.
Skema mandatori LPDP itu biasanya nggak open call biasanya. Biasanya tuh contohnya MIRA, jadi ITB dengan Oxford kalau nggak salah, atau UI dengan Melbourne kayak gitu, Prime namanya. Ini baru kali pertama skema mandat, maksudnya menteri yang memandatkan LPDP untuk keluarkan dana, tapi open call. Jadi UKCC itu salah satu contoh yang benar-benar breakthrough, bahwa kita dapat dana kasarnya nggak kita makan sendiri, gitu loh. Kita open call buat orang. Nah ini adalah suatu hal yang LPDP anggap sebagai hal yang sangat positif dan jadi contoh. Dan mereka secara eksplisit mengatakan bahwa ini bisa kita danain lagi. Kalau pertanyaannya tahun depan ada lagi atau enggak, ini kemungkinannya besar sekali. Apalagi UKCS-nya sekarang direcognize dari UK, di UK Indonesia Partnership Roadmap, yang berarti funding dari UK itu pasti akan ngikutin roadmap, gitu loh. Kalau enggak ngapain ada roadmap gitu kan? Gitu maksudnya loh. Nah jadi kans kita tahun depan bukan hanya dari LPDP tapi bisa juga dari pemerintah UK, gitu. Itu tapi nggak garanti, ya nggak garansi. Tapi kita punya
big
high hopes
possibility
di situ.
So there will be a big possibility for the funding for next year. Yes.
I'm sorry, I
Yes.
spoke in Indonesian. So
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Pak Bagus. I think Bu Ayunin has got the answers of the question. That there will be a lot of funding from UKCS itself, and also from UK, and also from Indonesia through LPDP, and of course, Bu Ayunin and also other researchers of Universitas Negeri Surabaya have also a chance to get the grant from Ministry of Education this year, because Ministry of Education has launched the program for same and also for postdoc. Yeah. Yes, as being mentioned by Pak Bagus, that seems that there will be a kind of different concept of postdoctoral from in Indonesia and in UK. The postdoc program held by Ministry of Education gives funding for the researchers, lecturers, researchers, to collaborate with international partners, and it is fully funded, Bu Ayunin, I think. So Pak Bagus has given green light for the researchers from Universitas Negeri Surabaya to get an LOA, to apply the postdoctoral program. Is it Pak Bagus?
Yeah, LOA means that yes, we will host you.
Yes.
Now, if we as a staff can host visiting researchers, and if you are hosted by us, you get full access to our libraries, you get a staff card, you get you get access to be there. So that's what LOA means. And
yes,
then,
right.
You know, if we ask support from our faculty, that means the faculty will support in dedicating 10% of my time, for example, to supervise postdocs. So that's what LOA means, because it's not just, oh, we accept you.
Right.
We accept you, and here's what we're gonna give. That would be something like very concrete. So in the case where your funding comes 100% from the Indonesian side, I don't see there's any problem at all. I think what happens was misunderstanding. The postdoctoral in Indonesia means etymologically, it's just postdoctoral, after doctor.
Yes.
In the UK, postdoctoral research associate also means postdoctoral, but it means you're a researcher employed by the University of Nottingham, something like that. So it becomes really weird then if you apply as a postdoctoral there, who's gonna pay for what? So I think that's where the confusion is. I might be wrong, but I think it is.
Yes. Okay. Pak Bagus for the answers. I think that is enough for the question. Thank you. So, dear participants, and also especially Unesa lecturers and also researchers, the University of Nottingham is ready to be the partner of Unesa to have international partnership in research, and also, of course, international joint publication. Okay, participants, there is a question from Nana. Devara. Yeah. Good afternoon, I'm Deva, English Education Unesa 2000. It's been an honor to be a participant in this valuable opportunity. I have a question for Mr. David. Is it possible for Nottingham Uni to conduct partnership in TESOL with Unesa? TESOL is teaching English as a second language, which later might prioritize students who will propose to continue their postgraduate degree there. Thank you in advance. That is a question from Devara Putra. Yeah, he is an alumni of English department here. And the question is for Mr. David.
Thank you, and thank you, Deva, for that question. That's a really interesting question, and I think it's entirely possible. So I will leave my contact information with colleagues here in this room, and I will, if you email me directly, I will introduce you to the global engagement directors for the responsible faculties for that kind of initiative, and I'm sure they'd love to explore that opportunity with you.
Yes, okay, thank you. So there will be a possibility for all of the students here to come to Nottingham, yeah, to study the TESOL. Okay, before going to go to question from Ibu Neni, I'd like to invite Professor Shahriman. Hello, Professor. Yeah, I'm
Hello.
still very interesting in knowing more about the happiness index that raises into 80% in UITM. Can you explain more about it? Seems that there are a lot of things over there. Pak Shahriman?
Okay, thank you, Bapak Rory. Okay, as we know, when we force people to contribute something with regards to fulfill the indicators for QS World University Ranking, we need to prepare or give them a carrot in order to make sure that everybody are contributing. And this can be done to certain activities, especially gathering. We create like awards or certificate, or maybe some kind of monetary incentive to every denominators or lecturers who can contribute to UITM. And I think this is one of the way how to appreciate I mean our university lecturers contribution, especially for research, I mean, and publication, which is the number 4, number 5 indicators in QS World University Ranking, citation and H index. So we have we need to do something to in order to drive to that direction, and we provide our lecturer with the monetary incentive. So that's one of our initiative. Okay, Dr. Rory.
Okay, thank you. Very interesting. Thank you, Professor Sahriman. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we'll go to the last question because we have a very limited time. It's close to, yeah, it's now 5:04. We'll go to the last question from Neni Mariana. Yeah. Thanks for all the great speakers. I'm Neni from the Department of Elementary Teacher Education. Is there any possibility to have a collaboration in the field of elementary education? What can you offer and how can we start with? Probably with we can get a contact person of the related department to initiate academic activities. I think this question for both Professor Shahriman and also Mr. David or Mr. Bagus. Professor Shahriman, can you answer this question first?
Oh, okay. For UITM, maybe from Unesa, you can start to communicate with, I mean, a researcher from or a lecturer from UITM, and then just inform to them that they need to communicate the negotiation or conversation with the UITM Global. So UITM Global, then we will try to prepare a necessary documentation, especially with regards to I mean, if there is no funding, so we can provide like a matching grant, if it is something to do with a new curriculum, joint degree or dual degree, so we can engage with Office of Academic Affairs in order to make this initiative successful. So meaning that it can be bottom up or it can be top bottom. But in most cases at UITM we are preferring that if the lecturers from UNISA can engage with UITM lecturers or researcher first, and I think it will be more effective. Okay, that's from me.
Yes. Okay, thank you for the answer. So, possible for all of the lecturers of UNESA to get engaged with the lecturers of UITM to have a collaboration. As an information that UITM is one of the best partners of Universitas Negeri Surabaya, because in the recent 3 years, we send our students to have international credit transfer in your university. We also receive some of your students to study here through international credit transfer. One of the faculties having the collaboration with UITM is Faculty of Mathematics and also Natural Science. So I think UITM is going to be great partners for UNESA to have international collaboration. Thank you, Professor Shahriman, for the answers. I will go to Pak Bagus and also Mr. David to answer the question. Is there any possibility for us to collaborate for elementary teacher education?
Hello again. So I think my answer is going to be pretty much the same as Prof. Shariman's answer. So yes, please get in touch with us to explore these opportunities. My email address is in the chat. If you have a pen, we also have uonglobal@nottingham.ac.uk, and my team would be very happy to introduce you to the right people that can talk about such an initiative. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, there will be a possibility for all lecturers to collaborate with University of Nottingham. Thank you for the answers. Dear ladies and gentlemen, I think we come to the close agenda today. Thank you for the participants, to all the participants today for your participation. And for more question to Mr. David, you can send the question to that email, email written down on the chat box, David dot I'm sorry, I'm gonna read it. So you can send your question to Mr. David through that mail. And then if you have also a question to Mr. Professor Shahriman, you can also send the mail to international office, international_office at unesa.ac.id to get connected with UITM Malaysia. Thank you very much for the great speakers today. A very insightful experience today and also sharing. Hopefully then Universitas Negeri Surabaya UNESA can adopt the great model of internationalization by UITM, and also global mindset that the University of Nottingham has. It is going to be very great example model for Universitas Negeri Surabaya to go to international university. Thank you for one more for all of the participants today, especially for the speakers. The speakers, Pak Bagus from Indonesia to UK, back to Indonesia again. And then Mr. David, we are going to collaborate more and more right after the MOU signing, I think. And then you've got a great chance for all of the lecturers here in Unesa to go to your university to have international collaboration. Thank you very much. Thank you for Pak Rector, Rector of Universitas Surabaya, Vice Rector for Academic Affairs, Vice Rector for Planning and Partnership, Bapak Sucarwanto, the Dean of Faculty of Mathematics, and also all deans in Unesa, the lecturers, study program, the head of study programs of UNESA, lecturers, students, and our participants. Thank you very much for today. I'm Asori, the MC and moderator of today's agenda. I'm really sorry if I got a mistake during leading the agenda today. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
To close the session. for today. Yeah.
Yeah.
See you. I think we can you can invite you can come to Unesa. Yeah, soon.
Sure.
Invite you to come
I
to
will.
Unesa.
Yeah.
Yes.
I will make arrangement.